What's up, y'all? It's the Dr. Investor back again with another video. So today I'm going to talk about the much requested topic, which is Section 8 and the 10-step process, starting with tenant inquiring about your property and ending with the tenant moving in and your contract being approved. So before I delve into this topic, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment. Be right back with the topic. I know some of y'all are wondering, what is Section 8? So Section 8 is a government-backed renter assistance program. It usually is extended to low-income families. Families that are eligible for the Section 8 program include those who earn less than 50% of the median income in that area. So if this is the case for the family, they can be placed on a waiting list, which can be very long. The waiting list can last any time from as little as 6 months to as long as 25 years. It's important all landlords understand or know about the Section 8 program in their area, because most areas have fair housing acts which prevent you from discriminating against an individual based on their source of income. And Section 8, which is government backed, is a source of income, so you cannot just not take a tenant strictly because they're Section 8. I love the program because it helps families in need, allows families to be in safe environments and higher mobility areas and great school districts, especially when their income is not very high. Now let's talk about the steps of getting a Section 8 tenant. Step 1 is going to be marketing your property to Section 8 tenants, and step 10 will be getting that contract approved so that you can start receiving payments through the government for this program. Step 1 to finding a Section 8 tenant is to make sure you market your property in the databases that the government asks that tenants look for properties in. In Chicago specifically, it's affordablehousing.com. Okay, so once you find a tenant that you think will be a great fit for your property, then there's moving papers that that tenant must sign. These papers indicate that they're part of the Section 8 program and they have chosen your property to be the property that they'd like to move into. After the moving papers are submitted to a Section 8 counselor, after you and the tenant signed it, the next step, they will determine the eligibility of the property. First, they will make sure that you own the property, so they may ask for ownership documents such as the deed to the house. Then they'll check your criminal background record to make sure you're safe to rent to a tenant. And lastly, they're going to check the property taxes to make sure there's no outstanding balances. Once Section 8 has determined that you as a landlord and the property is all free and clear to participate in the program, the next step is probably the harder, which is the inspection. So after you pass the eligibility process, they will schedule an inspection within 2 to 3 days. The whole purpose of the inspection is to make sure the home is safe and fit for the tenant and their family to move into. So each city has their own guidelines of what they determine to be fit and safe for a tenant to move into. So I would make sure you review those guidelines while you're in the rehab process or while you're in the buying process to make sure your home fits those guidelines, because you do not want to fail an inspection. Once you pass that inspection, you can finally exhale, because that's probably the hardest part. So after you pass the inspection, the next step is determining the rent that Section 8 is willing to pay for the property. Yes, you can list what you want, but Section 8 will determine what they feel like is fair based on the location of the property, crime rate of the area, safety of the neighborhood, and just overall mobility of that neighborhood. Within Chicago, it's based on market rent. Some other cities is just based on neighborhoods. But Chicago specifically is based on market rent. And if you're in a better neighborhood in Chicago, what they consider high mobility area, you can get top dollar rent from Section 8. So check if you're in one of these areas. Just visit the CHA website, type in the property address, and you'll be able to know whether or not you're in the mobility area. So once Section 8 sends you that rent offer, you can either choose to accept it or decline it. If you feel like that rent is not high enough for what you desire and what you believe is fair market rent, one thing you can do is send them rent comparables of homes within a 2-mile radius, and that can better help your case. So once you pass that inspection, the first thing I would do is email rent comparables to whatever Section 8 counselors assign to your case. This will make a case for whatever rent that you desire for your property. I would have at least 5 or 6 properties, similar bedrooms, similar bathrooms, similar square footage, and similar upgrades made to the property. This will give Section 8 a good gauge of kind of what properties are running for in your area. Of course, they're going to do their own due diligence, but this will help back up your case for the rent that you want for your property. So once Section 8 sends you a rent offer that you approve of, they'll break it down with the amount of rent that they will be paying and the amount of rent that the tenant will be paying. They typically subsidize anywhere from 70% to 100%. For my tenant that I have currently in one of my properties, they subsidize 99% of the rent. So they can subsidize quite a bit. Okay, so once you accept this rent offer, next you must send the Section 8 counselor assigned to your case a fully executed lease. So this lease has to abide by Section 8 guidelines. That's one of the reasons they have to look over it once it's sent and executed, both parties have signed. You can either have both parties sign the traditional way with signatures by hand. What I recommend doing is sending the document through DocuSign and just have yourself sign the portions as the landlord that needs to be signed and have the tenant sign the other portions that they must sign. Okay, now that your executed lease is all signed and ready to go, next is that move-in date, which is great. So once the tenant moves in, hopefully it's all smooth sailing and you have your rent payments set up with Section 8. They'll typically pay you by the 5th of every month. They also pay the security deposit and any rent, move-in fees that you listed for your property. They'll pay up to $500 in move-in fees if you do list that when you list your properties. So as you can see, the Section 8 program is such a great program. You get to help so many families be in nicer neighborhoods, and there are people just like me and you who just want to live in a safe environment, be in good school districts, and hopefully provide a better life for their family. And you're able to do that. These individuals will treat their home like their own, and they will stay a very, very long time, especially if you have a great quality house. It's in a great community where they can establish a community, which is very important for long-term tenancy for any property. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment. I'll be back with another one detailing each part of this specific pathway that I spoke about throughout this video. Thanks for the support. Hopefully we'll be at 100 subscribers within the next 2 weeks. I appreciate all the love I've been getting from everybody. The Dr. Investor is out.